Right now, we're bringing you a nationwide exclusive right here on 11 News. Our National Investigative Unit has been uncovering the rise of hate in our country and what's being done to stop it.
And now the FBI reveals new steps it's going to take this summer to combat hate. Chief National Investigative Correspondent Mark Albert has the nationwide exclusive you'll only see here.
This is the sound hate could not silence. The flame of faith is still being lit here at Temple Emmanuel Synagogue in Pueblo, Colorado. Richard Holzer tried and failed to snuff it out in an act of hate, telling undercover agents he wanted to, quote, get that place off the map. In February, a judge sentenced him to 19 years in prison.
We're not going to hide.
Mike Atlas Acuna is president of Colorado's second oldest Jewish congregation. He's the one who told Rabbi Bertie Becker of the planned bombing that day in 2019.
What went through your mind?
I was incredulous. We've been here since the 1800s. We're not going anywhere. It's hard for me to understand how someone could hate that much.
Holzer repeatedly expressed his hatred for Jewish people.
The attempted attack is now a rallying cry for the Justice Department's #3 leader, who used it last month to press FBI agents, prosecutors, and intelligence analysts to combat the rise of hate in the homeland, starting with talking to those in blue.
Approach each and every law enforcement agency in your district that reports zero hate crimes or does not participate in hate crimes reporting.
That outreach to local police in communities across the country is just one of several FBI initiatives launching this summer.
Put in the work.
Omar Montgomery, head of a local NAACP chapter here, is one of the community leaders who will be watching that outreach.
We know that there's a huge distrust between the African American community and law enforcement. Once the reporting is taken seriously and there's a thorough investigation, we can begin to heal those gaps between the community and law enforcement.
Do you have enough resources right now to fight hate crimes?
Deputy Assistant Director Jay Greenberg is leading the Bureau's new anti-hate effort, now designated a national threat priority.
There's never enough resources.
Greenberg detailed for us 6 new initiatives. All current FBI agents will get added hate crimes training. New agents will get it at the FBI Academy. Fresh outreach to community groups. Contacting every local law enforcement agency that has not reported hate crimes data to ask why. Additional help to local police to report and investigate hateful acts. And a nationwide anti-hate ad campaign, in part to encourage often reluctant victims to come forward.
Rebuilding community trust in the law enforcement that's there to support them and ensuring that those communities will bring forward these reports of hate incidents and hate crimes so that we can help address it with them.
But some of those people you must know don't trust you.
Some of those people today might not trust us. And although there have been bad actors who have made poor decisions in times of crisis or brought that and tarnished our badges, that is not representative of law enforcement nationwide, and we would ask for the community to give us a chance to prove that.
Greenberg invited us to join him in Denver as he oversaw the first of the FBI's new hate crime and civil rights training conferences. We were the only journalists allowed in, and we watched as speakers stressed the urgency of the moment.
We are faced with a crisis of hate in this country.
This is the first conference of its kind, right?
That's correct.
Mike Schneider heads the Denver field office in a state with a 74% increase in hate crimes.
That statistic is, I think, demonstrates that we have a lot more work to do.
No one knows the struggle against hate better than the Shepherds. 23 years after homophobic attackers beat their gay son Matthew, strapping him to a Wyoming fence and leaving him to die, hate is ascendant across the homeland. So Judy and Dennis Shepard came here to Denver to speak directly to the agents on the front lines.
The trust that you build in these various communities is critical.
We are a family who lost a son to hate in the most violent, brutal way imaginable. This should not be happening to any family. So what we're hoping is that by storytelling of what we went through, that they might have a better understanding of what other folks are experiencing as victims of hate crime.
As a chief, you may not have bias, but the people below you, your staff, your officers, your office personnel may have that. And they said no. I thought about it and said, you know, you're right. And I need to start setting the example myself, and I apologize. And this is in a major city.
They apologized to you.
The police chief did, yes.
The sound of penance from one chief and a chorus of resilience from communities that refuse to extinguish their faith, no matter how strong hate blows.
I know that what's happening now in the country will eventually die off and we'll see better times, because that's who we are as Americans.
In Pueblo, Colorado, for the 11 News I-Team, I'm Mark Albert.